thank you for inviting me to speak here today as a respondent from the Christian and particularly the Catholic perspective. I'd like to thank all the speakers for what they've shared with us. I think there's been some really critical, fundamental issues, perspectives and dimensions that have been raised. And from a Catholic or a Christian perspective, it resonates strongly with what each of you have said. Essentially, the Christian perspective says that everything, the earth, everything in it, living and non-living, human and non-human, is a gift from God. We are called to respond to that gift from God, our own lives indeed, and everything else, in a way that is caring, reverent, joyful, and respectful. So at the heart of it, it's about being in relationship with Earth, in relationship with everything that is in the universe. From that relationship, we're called to respect all that is and all that will be, all that is coming. And then from that sense of relationship and respect, we're invited, and we are, as adults, I think, in this scheme of a species, to be responsible for the gifts of creation. There are plenty of principles, there are plenty of quotes that I could share with you from various popes, and in recent times, Pope John Paul II in particular, Pope Benedict, from a Catholic perspective. There are Christian social teachings that I could quote to you. We know that's all there. That doesn't address fully what's being presented to us today. From my perspective, mining is something that is, as you were saying, David, it's a metaphor for what is happening in our lives, that fragmentation, that addictive nature to exploit is a metaphor for what is happening in our thinking processes. We're addicted to thinking in that way in our relationships. So the challenge is for all of us to take responsibility at such a core level. And it doesn't matter what faith we're from in that perspective. We know that if something is wrong, our way of fixing it is to start with ourselves. Be the change you want to see in the world. So immediately we are confronted with a mirror, reflecting how are we living day to day, how are we living in terms of contributing to the economic system, the social system and our ecosystems. That's the core challenge for each of us when we meet with state government officials, to talk to them about the flaws in the systems that are going on, to remind them at the core that we are here to live as one. We are unified, we are deeply connected, and we must honour that as we move forward in our decision-making processes. I'm reminded of that because when I was a young girl, my family travelled around Australia. For about 18 months we visited this incredible place, one after the other, incredible people, incredible experiences. And for me, I love Australia. I feel biased from a global perspective in that way. I've lived in various parts of Australia, and I've worked with people in an Aboriginal perspective, from the Kimberley Land Council, tourism boat operators. I've worked with people in the grassroots level, as well as advocating to government. And I think what we must do is keep in mind the changes and work towards those changes at our leadership level, as was suggested, that is key, that Edwin said. That must change at the global, national, state levels. And at the grassroots, we must mobilise. The good work that you've been doing, Jacinta, around that is absolutely essential. We must not be bystanders in the context of our relationship with the universe and let this go on. So my core call is around being active to those principles that are Christian, that call me, my brothers and sisters, to be real contributors to this call, that faith and mining informs the way that we walk, that we talk, that we make decisions. Thank you.